What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to 40 Fitness. Today, I just want to talk about my frustrations with lifting weights sometimes the way things are. I've been lifting weights off and on for the past 25 years. I've been lifting weights steadily for the past 12 years. And I've always felt, pretty good about myself in the gym. Um, but today, I walked in the gym. It was a friend of mine's. We know each other pretty well. We've been lifting together, off and on for the past couple of years. He's always been, a fluffy guy. He's around 230, 240, same as me. Always been real fluffy, never vascular or, always had a little stomach, And he walks in the gym and I notice this guy is not fat anymore. He's not fluffy. He started having, being real vascular and being real lean. And I'm thinking, like, man, this guy must be doing some hell of a cardio, because this all happened within a span of 5 weeks. And I talked to him about it, and he told me about the Trembolone he was taking with the testosterone. And I was like, wow, man, that was just freaking amazing. That in 5 weeks, that dude went from shit to extremely fit, in no time. And it was kind of eye opener thing for me, and kind of frustrated me in a way. Um, I'm not surprised um, that Trenbolone and testosterone does what it does. I'm not new. I'm not that new to the fitness scene where I don't know, what these compounds do, or how they make the body respond. It was just shocking because this is the first time that I've known somebody, that was on them, and know how they was before they was on them, and just seeing the transformation right before my eyes. I was just amazed by that. A lot of guys, don't tell the truth about what they're doing or what they're using, or if they do, you don't really see it. You see the change, and this was kind of an eye opener for me. And now when I go home and look at Instagram or look at YouTube, it was like, wow, how can I compete with this? Most of the guys who got views on YouTube and views on Instagram, they look like my friend looks now. I mean, like I said, the guy looks really good. And I remember 3 years ago when I first started my channel, I went to the doctor because, I thought that because I was getting a little chubbier, a little fluffier, that maybe my testosterone was dipping really low, and I was seeing, can I get prescription testosterone? Come to find out, my testosterone levels was 600 nanograms per deciliter. So, I didn't get it prescribed to me, nothing like that. And, I wasn't upset about it. I figured, well, 600 is pretty good. I'm gonna make it work, you know. And I've always went to the gym, feeling, pretty accomplished, At one point, I had 21-inch arms as a natural lifter. Um, I benched close to 500 pounds as a natural lifter. Um, so I felt pretty good about myself, but I never really looked how I wanted to look. Now, I've always worried about cutting too much because I don't want to lose a lot of size. When I started trimming down from 275 to where I'm at now at 240, I lost a lot of muscle, and that always kind of frustrated me because it was muscle I know at my age I would probably never get back. So, I never wanted to be any, smaller than when I am now, as far as like arm size, chest size, because my chest was like a really tough thing to grow, and it took me a long time to get there. And I was always frustrated about losing all the gains that I have gotten, over the past 12 years. But after today, I was just amazed and stuck, wishing like, man, I wish I could look like that. Of course, I can never take any drugs or anything like that because, first of all, with my job, I can't get popped for doing anything illegal. That'll ruin my whole life for sure. And plus, you don't know what you're getting on the black market. He might get a good batch this week, might get a bad batch next week, and I can't afford for that to happen. Um, so I decided to come home and, I thought about it and decided, I really got to buckle down. I really got to get this fitness thing right. I was never a bodybuilder, never wanted to be a bodybuilder. I'm just a recreational weightlifter. I like to lift weights. It's fun to me. It's a hobby. But sometimes I do get frustrated about the way I look, how I do all this cardio and see I can't lose any weight, or, how I, lifts, and sometimes you seem to get to this wall, and, that's always frustrating when you can't get past a certain amount of your lifts. So, what I'm gonna do with this channel right now, since nobody's hardly watching, anyway, is I'm just turn it into a vlog and try to track my progress, and I'm gonna try to do better with my dieting, do better with my eating, and see if I'm doing what I'm doing wrong. And I know I'm gonna lose some size, and I'm trying to deal with that. I know I'm gonna lose some more strength. I'm gonna have to try to deal with that. But I really want to, get down a little bit, so maybe I could see, a full six pack again. I've never got my waistline down the way I would like to have gotten it down, the way it was when I was in my 20s. And I've always been a bigger guy. I've never been skinny fat. I've never been skinny. My freshman year in high school, I was 185 pounds. I graduated at 202. So, it was always hard for me to lose weight. Always really easy for me to pick it up. I try to eat right as much as I can, but sometimes with the jobs and the way my jobs are, it's really hard for me to eat the way I'm supposed to be eating. So I'm gonna have to try to work something out, and and basically I had to come to terms with I gotta start competing with other people too. I've always done that. When I would walk into the gym and I see somebody benching heavy, I would have to bench heavier. I see somebody curling, I would have to curl, even though it was my leg day. I was always that type of person because I've always liked to compete like that, and that was always my thing. I never entered any competitions, but that was just my thing I would do in the gym, and I loved it. I love going to the gym, seeing big guys and being able to lift with them right beside them. But as I got older, you know, I'm not as strong as I used to be. I get a lot of aches and pains now, and certain things I can't do. My knees are shot from playing football. I had a couple of knee surgeries, and anything I do now is just like this bad boy will swell up. It's a lot of my joints, some shoulder issues from bad form on the bench, which I've corrected, and I still bench, and I still bench a pretty good amount of weight. But I'm gonna just use this channel and to try to do better, for myself, and I'll be posting my progress, probably every week, but trying to clean up my eating every day. And I might post some things that I'm eating. So if somebody have any suggestions of what I could do better, or anything like that, I'm open to them. My brother once told me, when you know everything about lifting weights, you might as well stop. So I'm not claiming to be a guru, not claiming to know anything. All I know is my experience and what I've been going through. I remember I used to curl and bench every day. And people say, oh, you never get strong like that. You never get big like that. And I've grown pretty nice sized arms just by doing that. So, but my body's changing now, and I know I can't continue to do that. So I'm trying to do the best I can. And I'm going to try to really buckle down on my diet and try to not compete with other people, try to compete with myself, and just see what I can do. I'll turn 45 in February, and hopefully by then I'll, look better. I'll feel better. I've been trimmed down the way I want to trim down, and look at least the way I want to look. And I'm gonna just try really hard to do my thing this year. So keep watching. If you have any tips, you have anything you want to add, please comment, and we'll see you later on 40 Fitness.